Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Bold and the Beautiful Seas, Dr. Grace Buckingham, Cassandra Creech telling Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, there might be hope for Liam Spencer Scott Clifton, and then she does some sort of risky procedure on him for big bucks. We're going to talk about whether Grace is doing what's best for Liam or best for her bank account. Or maybe it's the best of both worlds, and Bill pays Grace to do something outside of traditional medicine, and it actually works to cure Liam's cancer. So, we know from Grace's recent phone calls there's some trouble going on in the family. If you don't remember, her ex, Reese Buckingham Wayne Brady, who's the father of her girls, Paris Buckingham Diamond White, and Zoe Buckingham Kiara Barnes, is a real piece of work. He could be part of the problem. Bottom line, Grace needs money, and Bill has piles and piles of it, and he's got a very sick son who he's desperate to cure, especially because Hope Logan Anaconno and Steffi Forrester Jacqueline McInnes Wood chewed him a new one and said Liam didn't want Bill to know about the cancer because his dad is so selfish. Now, I don't remember once Liam saying anything like that. This is either Hope and Steffi just being mean, or this is Brad Bell thinking that viewers don't remember dialogue, and he's just rewriting history because Liam was keeping it a secret because he didn't want pity, and he didn't want people, doting on him on his way out. He just wanted to live out what life he had normally. If you recall, Liam didn't even want to tell Hope at first, and Steffi blabbed it because he wouldn't tell. And Ridge Forrester Torsten K., of course, lost his mind. He was calling him Billy. I've never heard that before out of Ridge's mouth, and Ridge has got no room to talk to anyone about anything, to be honest. So this week, Grace and Bill have a talk. Now that Hope blurted out that Liam has cancer, Bill's even more worried than he already was when he heard that Liam was shot. So, Bill talks to Grace in private, and he wants to know if there's any chance Liam can survive this cancer. He got doom and gloom news from Hope and Steffi, and that's because they really do think there's no chance. There have been repeat scans and tests from the neuro team that several doctors, including Finn Tanner Novlin, have looked over. Everybody agreed that it's dire. And if you recall, I think it was 2 months ago that Grace did offer Liam some treatment options, radiation, and chemotherapy to give him more time with his girls, even though the tumor was inoperable. He talked to Steffi and Finn about quality of life and whether he should do the treatments. And then he never did anything. They just dropped it. And then just the other day that came back up again, and Grace started pressing Finn to convince Liam to take the treatment now before it's too late. So again, no, I know there's clickbait out there, but I do not think Grace is faking Liam's cancer. Too many doctors have looked at the scans. I mean, that would be a whole lot of fakery, right? Anyway, this dodgy new treatment, though, is a whole other thing. So once Bill asked Grace if there's any way to save Liam Spencer Scott Clifton, she says, "What if I told you there is?" And then this week, looks like Bill is going to send Grace $1 million while Liam is wrapped up in some blue hospital material looking doubtful. And then, his face is out, and the top of his head looks like she's going to cut his noggin open. We know that Grace does surgery on Liam this week, and Bill is waiting eagerly on that outcome. And the leaker, who so far is 100% reliable, that's sharing stuff, said Liam is going to be getting experimental treatment at a private clinic. This is the leaker that also said he'd be in a coma, which he was. And then they said that Liam comes out of the coma, which he's done, and then is going to be snatched out of the hospital by Bill and transported to a private clinic where Grace and another doctor are going to do experimental things on his brain. So, I wonder if Bill has Liam transferred, and then the surgery is at the new clinic. The timing on the spoilers sound like that Grace does the surgery, and then Bill takes him. So, whatever the order is, it seems like Grace needs Liam away from the hospital to do more experimental stuff on his cancer. It sounds risky and dangerous, and is going to come at a high cost to Bill's wallet. But if Grace can do some cutting-edge thing with this other doctor and save Liam, I'm sure it's worth every penny to Bill. But I wonder if Grace really thinks this surgery will work and save Liam. Or she's just trying to get a payday from Dollar Bill and is stalling. Maybe Liam is going to die anyway. Now, I've said this before. I don't think they're killing off Scott Clifton. You know, I figured it was going to be an 11th hour miracle cure or something like they did on Eric Forrester, John McCook, because Brad Bell loves to repeat plots. There's some people on soap social media who said, oh, they won't fake Luna Nozawa's Lisa Yamada death because that's a repeat plot and they wouldn't do this with Liam. It's a repeat plot. Brad Bell repeats plots. They have like 5, and they just keep redoing them. That's what Bold and the Beautiful does. Anyway, given that Grace actually does seem to do surgery on Liam this week, you know, cutting into his brain and whatnot, maybe the surgery was inoperable if they weren't willing to take risks, and maybe this experimental procedure wouldn't be allowed at that LA hospital. But at a private clinic, Grace and this new doctor we're going to meet can try things that are more risky. If Liam's going to die anyway, I'm betting Bill is willing to take risks and pay big for any kind of Hail Mary option. I do wonder if Liam consents to all this or somehow Bill takes full control and consents on his behalf. Grace could have Bill sign papers for the surgery and the transfer. Grace could say that Liam's brain tumor makes him unable, incompetent to make decisions for his own care because his brain is compromised. Something like that. But also, B&B doesn't actually worry about legalities. So, they may not even explain it. So, Bill could take control. I'm guessing Liam doesn't want to be taken somewhere that Steffi and Hope can't see him. But Bill wants him away from all of them. Maybe he thinks if he can save Liam, everybody will back off and quit raging at him. He doesn't need crap from Steffi and her mom Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Buddick, because remember, she shot Bill in the back, and Steffi begged him to cover, and so Bill kindly didn't press charges on Taylor. So the problem is we know Grace really needs the money. So her motives are not just about patient care. This may be about getting whoever keeps texting and calling her off her back. And in this week's promo, Finn talks to Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones about something not being standard protocol. They find it odd. It could be about Grace doing risky surgery and or transporting Liam away from the hospital. Or it could be about Luna and the disposal of her body, because I'm still not convinced Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda's being honest, and that Luna's actually dead. When Lee talked to Finn this week about Luna, I get the vibe that Lee was testing the waters to see if she could tell Finn that Luna had survived. So, we'll see. We know Grace has done questionable things in the past on Bold and the Beautiful. And you know, she's gone back crap crazy, like when she was going nuts about Carter Walton Lawrence St. Victor dating Paris. Now, she's back for Liam's life and death storyline. And you know, again, I don't think it's likely he's going to die. And maybe because of Grace and this experimental regimen that Bill Spencer, Don Diamond's going to start funding, that's what saves his life. We know from leaked scripts that Liam has scenes in September, a full 2 months from now. So maybe he'll be off canvas for a while getting secret dodgy cancer treatments. Hope and Steffi are not going to be happy that Bill snatches Liam right out from under them. But Bill's desperate to save Liam after getting Luna the pardon and her shooting Liam. So I expect Bill to go to extremes, and obviously Steffi and Hope are going to freak out when Bill runs off with them. So maybe Grace puts Liam into a medically induced coma so that Bill can take control and they can transport him away without his consent without the ladies knowing. We'll see if Liam's next of kin is Dollar Bill. The glamorous facade of Los Angeles belied the treacherous undercurrents brewing beneath the surface of the Forrester and Spencer empires. The world of the Bold and the Beautiful was never short on scandal, but this latest twist had jaws dropping and loyalties unraveling. At the center of the storm stood Grace Buckingham, the once redeemed doctor and mother, now teetering on the edge of morality. And beside her, Dollar Bill Spencer, a man who believed everything had a price, even someone's life. It all began with Liam Spencer's precarious condition. The coma had lasted longer than expected. Brain swelling, subtle seizures, cryptic murmurs of his ex-wife Hope's name. Doctors remained cautiously optimistic, but the truth loomed. Without an experimental neurosurgical procedure, Liam might never wake up. Or worse, he could become a different man entirely. Enter Grace. Recently reinstated to medical privileges under mysterious circumstances, she was now consulting on Liam's case. Whispers in the hospital corridors said she pulled strings to get back in. What no one knew, until now, was that the strings were golden, or more specifically, lined with hundreds of thousands of dollars from none other than Bill Spencer. Bill had grown cold, more ruthless than ever. His heart was once warmed by Luna, by a second chance at fatherhood. But her supposed death, shrouded in mystery, betrayal, and possibly deception, had shattered him. And he blamed Liam. Or more accurately, Liam's indecision, his passivity, his weakness. In Bill's eyes, Liam wasn't fit to carry the Spencer legacy forward. And if fate wouldn't take Liam out of the equation, perhaps money could. Grace, ever the opportunist when pushed to the edge, found herself cornered. Her credibility as a doctor was paper-thin. Her reputation teetered between redemption and ruin. And her bank account? As hollow as the promises she'd once made to protect her daughters from scandal. When Bill offered the payoff, disguised as a research grant, Grace hesitated. For a moment. Then she nodded. What did he ask in return? Nothing overt. Just a delay. A postponement of Liam's surgery. A quiet shelving of the experimental drug protocol. A subtle misplacement of crucial lab results. Nothing that would raise alarms. Nothing that would trace back to Bill. But everything that would endanger Liam's life. Grace rationalized her decision. Liam might recover without the intervention. She wasn't hurting him, just letting nature take its course. And with the money, she could launch a private clinic, fund mental health research, maybe even buy back the respect she'd lost. She told herself she was choosing the greater good. But the guilt festered, especially every time she walked past Steffi Forrester, whose eyes burned with desperate hope for Liam's recovery. Or when she heard Hope's whispered prayers by Liam's bedside. Grace tried to drown it out with distractions, spa visits, shopping sprees, and wine. But every time Liam's monitors beeped irregularly, her heart seized. Meanwhile, Bill operated with calculated precision. He played the concerned father-in-law to perfection, checking on Liam, comforting Wyatt, even offering Hope his jet should she need to fly in specialists. No one suspected him. Not even Finn, who had grown increasingly frustrated at the delays in Liam's treatment. It was Finn who finally pressed Grace during one tense hallway conversation. We should have administered the neural regenerative compound by now, he said, eyes sharp. What's the hold-up? Grace's voice quivered. It's not fully approved for cases like Liam's. We need more. More data. Finn narrowed his gaze. Or more money. The silence spoke volumes. Grace deflected, but Finn wasn't buying it. He started combing through files, checking timestamps, emailing labs. What he found disturbed him: forged dates, missing samples, and, most damningly, a financial trail linking a Spencer offshore account to Grace's new Beverly Hills condo. He confronted her privately, demanding answers. You think this is a game, Grace? He hissed. Liam could die because you cashed a check. Her facade crumbled. I didn't want this. I needed the money, Finn. I thought he'd recover anyway. I didn't know it would get this far. Bill Spencer paid you to delay treatment. That's attempted murder, Finn seethed. You're going to fix this now. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.